Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Laugh and Death podcast. Your host, Fernie. Hi. We have Alex.
Hello.
And David on the mics as well.
Cheerio.
You can follow us on Instagram at Laugh and Death podcast. And you can watch us on YouTube at Laugh and Death podcast as well. If you have any comments or suggestions, just let us know in the comments. So how you guys doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Just had a good meal.
Yeah, so I noticed that you ate your dessert first.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I don't give a fuck about the whole... Even though my mom put a lot of pressure on it. Don't eat. But I'll mix them if I have to. I'm ready to put that cookie on that pizza. I don't give a fuck.
You know what I really like that is weird? Well, at least I think it's weird. It's the cinnamon pretzel from Auntie Anne's with the marinara sauce instead of like the icing.
Oh, yeah, because the marinara sauce kind of like salty or like sweet, salty-ish. Like,
yeah.
I have never heard
and then
of
the
this.
cinnamon is super sweet.
Yeah.
It's like the same feeling I get from pineapple on pizza. Pineapple's real sweet, you know?
So that's why you always like it on pizza?
Pineapple on pizza? Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't like pineapple on pizza, do you?
Absolutely not.
Okay, how do you fall in that debate of like pineapple should not be on pizza, or do you just not?
I don't like sweet in my food. I don't like sweet and sour chicken. I don't like anything sweet.
But you
Papa
tried
John's fucking sucks. I've tried it, but it's not my thing.
But are you like one of those like people that are anti-pineapple? Like they're gonna fight you on it?
Yeah. No, there's a special place in hell for both of y'all.
Oh yeah, I thought so. Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah.
I'll die on the hill.
I like it's because I like the contrast, like it's just so mixes so well together, you know, like sweet, salty, best of both worlds in my mouth.
So you like Sour Patch?
I love Sour Patch Kids. That's not a food. That's not my meal.
Oh, I mean, it's still
That's
the
Rick's
same.
meals.
It's still it's still the same as the sour and the sweet stuff.
It's entirely different. I mean, it's like when you eat. I don't eat Papa John's pizza because their sauce is sweet. It's
I like
sweet
Papa
pizza.
John's.
I fucking hate Papa John's. Very, the whole pizza talk is a different debate. But I do not like anything sweet in my food. It's just my thing.
Oh.
I like being fucking gross and just doing not gross. Not that it's gross that you put the
Pineapple?
the Auntie Anne's thing.
Okay, yeah.
But I can see that. I
It's
can see
interesting.
me doing that. You know.
I had a girlfriend whose mom would eat Doritos with banana slices. Like, you know how you cut up the banana, put it on a Dorito, and just like eat like that. And I tried it once because I saw her doing it. I was like, that's pretty interesting. And I tried it. It was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's
That's
kinda,
also another thing. Soft, the texture, soft and then crunchy. Like I like that shit. You know.
yeah. Like it was kind of weird at first. Like, and then like once you get over it in your head, it's just like, oh, it's a good combination of flavors.
Yeah.
For a certain amount of time.
I have a friend that him and his brother. I would hang out with them, and they'd be sitting on the floor, and they each had a giant bag of Hot Cheetos with a big glass, like a Stripes cup, a 64-ounce cup of milk. And they'd be eating the Hot Cheetos and dipping them in the milk, and then they drink.
I don't know about dipping.
And they would. It was disgusting. I don't know how they did it, but they loved it. They really enjoyed it. That was like one of their favorite snacks.
Because I remember I used to like when the ice cream man would come through my neighborhood, get a bag of Hot Cheetos and cheese, big old glass of milk, and just.
Really? I have a
Milk is
cousin.
so refreshing, dude.
I have a cousin that all his meals have been eaten with milk. Like whatever, no matter what we're eating, milk.
Dude, a cold ass glass of milk, it's so fucking refreshing.
It freaks me out just y'all talking about it.
But speaking of Hot Cheetos, I have something that's been bugging me. Not bugging me, but like I've been wondering about is when did Hot Cheetos become so like mainstream in the way that it's like added to cuisines and stuff now? Like we have that place that makes the Hot Cheeto pizza, Hot Cheeto and cheese pizza, in Mercedes, I think.
Yeah. Oh, it's on 1015.
It's on 15, and then they do the hot dogs you were talking about last time that they have like they have Hot Cheeto hot dogs, and then I think last week they opened a pop-up shop in L.A. It's like a Flamin' Hot Cheetos restaurant. So everything on the menu had Hot Cheetos incorporated in it, including like the milkshakes.
Ugh.
Like they had like the milkshake, the chocolate milkshake, and they have like the rim was covered in Hot Cheeto dust.
Well, I mean, obviously, white people just found out about it because if they're making pop-up shops and they're making meals, like I saw on like the Yum channel on Facebook, it was like they were making hot Cheeto mac and cheese. They were making hot Cheeto crusted chicken fillets.
Yeah.
I was just like, where the fuck did all this shit come from? But as early as I remember, I was in 7th grade. And during lunchtime, you could go outside and you could get a little bag of hot Cheetos, a little 25-cent bag. That's the first time I ever saw them. That's the first time I ever experienced or tasted the hot Cheeto. But then they upped the ante with the whole like melted cheese in it. So the hot Cheetos with cheese. That's as far back as I can remember because I don't remember it being a thing. But it was, especially being down here in the valley where they're so innovative on their snack game. It was like the biggest thing. Being a 7th grader,
that was like me, elementary, middle school. Like, I guess I mean, like I can eat hot Cheetos. You know, I'm not saying that I'm like, because I was saying like I fucking hate hot Cheetos, but like I'm not buying a bag of hot Cheetos just for me. How people fucking indulge on hot Cheetos, like how I seen them when I was a kid. Like that shit's fucking bizarre to me too. Like kids would be slanging hot Cheeto bags out of their backpack in school. You know what I mean? Like. I didn't get it. I didn't get the craze of hot Cheetos.
Like setting them at school?
At school, yeah. And like, just I can still see certain people, like boys and girls, mainly girls, like just their tips of their fingers just red. And then it's worse when like they lick them and they look, it's just so fucking.
It's like fading already.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Like it's so.
See, well, that's what I'm saying. Like it's kind of like not normal, but it's kind of like everybody's experienced hot Cheetos, like. As a snack, especially down here in the valley. But what do you think is the appeal that like to put it on other foods? Because I think they had like buffalo wings with hot Cheeto crust. They also had hot Cheeto churros. They had like
not even recently, maybe a month ago. There's this place, Mr. G's, out in San Benito that they sell snow cones, all kinds of stuff, hot Cheetos and cheese. Well, my girl and her mom came back home one day. And her mom had ordered it's like a little plastic little container, right? And it has cheese, hot Cheetos, and then it had like gummy, like gummy little candy stuff all up in it, and then cucumbers and like
a
and corn, but with gummies in it. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? But I tried it; it was good, and I was just like, okay, this is kind of weird. Like I don't understand. You know, it was really weird.
We went to Snowball. My wife went to Snowball Express in Far. I don't think it's open anymore. I think they moved it to Edinburgh. Anyways, we tried a hot Cheetos marinada, which I don't know if you know this, but it comes with nacho cheese, white corn, sour cream or crema, and
queso fresco,
and the hot cheese, and a lot of queso fresco on top. And oh my god, the earth stood still when I tried it. It was amazing. It was legit. It was a whole meal. But I was looking at this stuff and the plethora of all the shit that they're putting hot Cheetos in. Like I just searched hot Cheetos on my iPad, and what sounds fucking awesome is mozzarella sticks, but they're hot Cheeto mozzarela sticks.
What do you mean hot Cheeto mozzarella sticks?
So like the
breading,
like the bread,
they're fried
breading.
Yeah.
That sounds
fucking crazy.
See, I'm saying like it sounds good, but.
Like, did you see Burger King too? Didn't they have that where they had the puff filled with macaroni and cheese?
Mac and cheese, yeah.
I tried it. Fucking hot as shit. I had one and I was just like I don't like the feeling of being like, fuck, I'm in pain. Like, I'm a bitch with spicy foods, bro. I get acid reflux real bad. So that's why I don't do it. But every now and then my butthole has to fucking
pay the price.
Yeah, it has to take one for the team. Because
I remember in 7th grade, it was like breakfast time. We're sitting around eating breakfast, I think it was like a little bowl of cornflakes, like those little plastic bowls. Anyways, there's some chick. I always forget her name, but she was there just like munching on a pickle, and she did that thing where she gets the hot Cheetos, puts it in the pickle, and like eats like that, like 8 a.m. in the morning, just like munching on a pickle with hot Cheetos, like real chill.
All right, Freddie.
Wait, hold on, let me finish the story. The teacher looks at her and is like, what are you doing? Like, eat your breakfast. Don't eat that right now. Your stomach's going to hurt. Nah, sir. I'm okay, sir. I do it all the time. Fucking not even like 30 minutes later, fucking puking her brains out, just like red.
Oh.
And I mean, it just stunk up the class. She was just like couldn't stop vomiting, and it was the worst thing I've ever seen. But it was fucking funny at the moment, you know.
No, yeah. And it's Hot Cheetos relevant.
Did that define her destiny? Is she a bad bitch now?
I don't know. I think she has like
Is she
7
in prison?
kids. No, I don't know.
And they all eat Hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
With the little fingers. Ugh.
I have a friend of mine, Eric. Shout out to Eric. He fucking just junk food to the max, dude. This kid just had snacks and snacks all the time, right? And I think back in the day, Hot Cheetos was his thing too. But then, dude, when Takis, because Takis became like the next thing for a little bit, where Takis were like, oh, that's the new thing people have. And this dude, every time he show up to the skate park, anytime we meet up, red fucking fingertips. I'm like, God damn it, bro. Like, I've never seen the true color of his bottom, like his palms. You know what I mean? Like, it's just been red. I'm like, oh my God, bro. Like, this guy just junk food on junk food, bro. Dockies, that was the thing too, you know?
Those are too hot. I can only eat one at a time.
But that's like, it's not just hot. It's like lemon too, isn't it? It's like limon and shit. Like
every time I eat those, my teeth hurt just because I feel like it's a lot of like stuff on it.
Yeah, it's real like heavy with like the powder or whatever. I stay away from that shit too because
my nephew, shout out to Chevy, he would eat them like they were nothing. He's like, they're not even that hot. I'm like, dude, I can only eat one and my stomach hurts.
Did you see the thing that happened with that rapper Lil Xan? He got hospitalized because he ate too many Hot Cheetos.
Pussy.
Like,
well, like he had posted like a picture on Twitter or on Instagram. I really didn't look it up, but I seen everybody talk about it. How he had posted like a picture or like a caption like, in the hospital, it's like, don't worry, it's not drug related. I think I ate too many Hot Cheetos. And then I guess he had like eaten so much Hot Cheetos that the lining in his stomach was like coming undone, and and he puked up blood.
Oh, it's Hot Cheeto.
Yeah.
But see, that's not the first time I've heard somebody get hospitalized by Hot Cheetos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, how much are these people eating, bro? Like,
that's what I was gonna ask. Yeah.
Like, I mean, because I've seen people that just take big. I'm not really a chip guy. Like a whole bag of chips, I can't eat by myself. Like I have a few here and there, but like, I mean, people it's like those it's like they just reach in and they can't stop. You know what I mean? Like it's like an addictive personality thing. Like they just can't stop. It's like it doesn't feel like one after. It doesn't feel like a whole mess of bag, right? It just feels like one at a time. But how much do you eat that you fucking get hospitalized, bro? Like for real?
Dude, I bet you it was one of those $1.49 bags from Stripes. He's a fucking pussy.
I don't even know the guy.
No, he was like he's like 22. He looks like he's like 14 or something with face tattoos for some reason.
Looks frail, so I'm not surprised that Hot Cheetos can take a dude out like that. Somebody like that.
With the amount of drugs that guy's taken,
I don't even know.
He can't even.
Do we even know?
Dude, he's been hospitalized for overdosing on Xan.
His name is Lil Xan for Xanax.
I know it is, but like
the next rapper's gonna be Little Opioid or whatever.
Little Opie. Little Overdose. This guy's only made one song because every other time he's been in a coma.
Yeah, that's my friend. Hey, mom, this is my favorite rapper. Little cocaine, little heroin,
little cocaine addict. Holy shit! No, it's like metaphoric for like life sucks. You know. Yeah. the Hot Cheeto craze. I don't know. Like how because I've seen it all over videos on Facebook and videos. These videos have millions of views and it's fucking crazy. Who makes Hot Cheetos?
That fucking cheetah guy. What is his name?
Chester.
Oh, he fucking makes them himself.
Yeah, dude, he poops them out.
What does he eat? God damn it!
Regular Cheetos.
God damn it, dude. I guess. All right. Shit like that, right? Lil Xan being hospitalized by Hot Cheetos, right? What kind of like first world fucking dilemmas are people in America going through? Like hospitalized by Hot Cheetos. I guess I'm trying to, when I break it down, I'm like, first off, we made such a filler food that's not even like, it's not, there's no nutrient in it for you, you know? It's just empty calories and it's just fucking our system up. And people are eating enough of it to fuck them up, right? And like, I don't know, it's just so like, we take a lot of shit for granted and like, we're just so fucking like, the shit that we get mad about, you know what I mean? It fucking, like traffic. You know what I mean? When did so many people just get on a specific piece of land, and now we're pissed at each other for like, you piece of shit, you didn't fucking signal to turn right or whatever the fuck, you know? This goes all the way back to that one episode. I don't know. What do y'all think about like
first world problems?
First world problems and like the shit sometimes that we have a lot of shit at our hands that we can take an opportunity on, you know, and like the shit that we just kind of complain about. That's kind
of. I found it really interesting. There was an article I read a long time ago how during the Cold War, like Russians, they would send Russian spies over to the U.S. and like they would see grocery stores and how like everything is packed in a grocery store. Like you have fresh meats, you have a bunch of like options of food and stuff, and they were like, "This can't be real. This is
like a dystopian society."
Yeah, like this is like fake. Like because they couldn't imagine a world where we had enough food that we can have options for like different brands and all this shit.
Sitting there waiting for our
just waiting for somebody to pick it up and like want that thing. And I was like thinking, I mean, Russia seems like this is like in the 50s, I think, or whenever the Cold War was going on, or 60s, I think.
50s, 60s, I think.
50s, 60s, yeah. So I mean, you would think now Russia now is like a superpower, somewhat like they've had an abundance like we do, but I feel like the grocery store thing was something like invented in the U.S. and like that is a first world problem. Like, we have too many options. Like,
yeah.
Do I want the fucking whatever this brand is or whatever this brand is? They're exactly the fucking same, but it's just the name on there.
Yeah, or do I want the one that's cage-free or gluten-free or the one that isn't, but they're both the same fucking thing. They come from the same plant. Like, you know, like, what the fuck do we know, dude? You know, but yeah, like, the art of convenience, you know what I mean? Like, how it was started in America. Like, just trying to make shit faster, easier, better, but like, it don't, like, I feel like the first world thing spawns from like the like I said, the invention of convenience and the innovation of just having shit at the ready and kind of putting us in like in a safe spot too long, in a spot of comfortability that's dangerous. You know what I mean? That what happens the day that like bottled water isn't packaged anymore, you know what I mean? And like something happens in a factory somewhere. It's all, you know, there's a lot of it right now. It looks like there's so many fucking packets when you go to an H-E-B or something. And if you think about all the H-E-Bs in the state, and you think about all the other, you know what I mean? All like that. But what if one thing fucks up and the whole fucking system's trashed and we're like, holy shit, I never invested in something that could maybe give me clean water or something, you know what I mean? Like, we never get to that type of thought, you know, like.
Yeah, and I think like what they call first world problems, like, my Wi-Fi isn't working. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, but there's some guy in Africa or whatever, India, that doesn't have food or portable water or like, yeah, but people would be like, you shouldn't complain for the things you have. It's like, sure, but things are relative. Like, if I was in somewhere that I had no running water, but I had Wi-Fi, I'd be like, oh, I need to have Wi-Fi.
You know? I can see running water online.
Yeah. Or the other way around. Like, I could have running water and no Wi-Fi. Like, I guess I wouldn't, like, know how bad things are if I wasn't there.
Maybe it takes, because you say, oh, yeah, cool, I have running water but no Wi-Fi, but it also takes the subject of knowing.
Yeah, I'm saying.
What you have.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's all relative.
Yeah.
Like
you said earlier, it's subjective, you know what I mean? Like, well, I wanted to take, like, can you take away the subjectiveness of yourself? Of, like, you go out to one of these countries, right, where you're stripped of your everyday societal things that are just make you a normal person in your everyday world over here. And you go over there and, like, do you think you will come back with more gratitude, or do you think you'll just...
I think for sure. I think everything that gets removed from you, like, you go a day without talking to your parents or whatever, and you're like, oh, cool, like, I don't have to deal with them. But then you go more than a couple of weeks or, like, more than a couple of days, you're like, what the fuck, I miss them.
Yeah.
Or not even just your parents, just, like, people you talk to every day.
Yeah.
So, of course, I feel like everything that's taken for granted, if you take it away, you're going to miss. But I feel like you should... I don't know. I kind of like, don't know whether I'll survive without the things we have now. Like,
me neither. I asked you all a question at the store one time where it was like, all right, $1 million, but every time you got in the shower, you had to stand underneath the spigot and wait for the water to get warm. And I said I wouldn't do it. And then I started thinking about like, and Fernie was like, yeah, I'll fucking do that shit. And Rick was like, yeah, man, I grew up where sometimes we didn't have hot water. He's like, so I'm used to it. He's like, I do it for $1 million. Like, no problem. Steve said the same thing. I do it. And I told myself, like, I would never do that because the water needs to be hot before I get in. And I'm just too... And I thought about it. I'm like, man, what a first world problem. Because, like, I will let the water run for 10, 15 minutes before I get in the shower sometimes. And there's people in Africa who don't have water. And I just let all that water run through. I'm like, it's on my bill. I'll just pay for it later. Like, you know? And I don't know. The way I didn't look at it that way. And I appreciate having hot water.
I mean, like, when I, what I like that happened to me as a kid was, like, how I would go to Mexico a lot.
Yeah,
you
same.
know?
That's what I was about to say.
And then this last time, it's still the same. Like, it hasn't changed. You know what I mean? Or, like, the way our morning routines. I would wake up and, like, they never had hot running water. At least not where my grandma lives. And shout out to my grandma. At least not where my grandma lives. And so, I mean, I've showered with cold-ass water because when there's a lot of us there, sometimes everybody's trying to take a shower and get ready. But everybody has to fill up it's like a paint bucket, fill up their paint bucket with cold water, put it on the stove and heat it up. And then you take it to the shower and it's just a paint bucket with a little bowl and you just, rinse yourself with water and like shower and stuff. When we were kids, like everybody would be doing it. We have plans for the day. It's like, fuck, some of us had to take a shower in cold ass water. So it's like, fuck it. Like some of us had to take it for the team. So we'd do it. But this last time I went, I did the heating up and everything. Like, but I like it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I kind of thought of myself, like, when I told my mom, like, what if I could just live over there with my grandma, my grandpa for like half a year, and I just help out around there and work with my uncle over there. You know what I mean? And just try to get a way of life over there, see how I would feel. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be disconnected from internet or anything because there's Wi-Fi and shit over there in specific areas.
See, that's what I'm saying. No cold water, but Wi-Fi. I mean, no hot water, but Wi-Fi.
But Wi-Fi. But I'm not that I'm saying like but Wi-Fi, but like I'm just saying like I want to know how it feels to like
rough it.
I guess. Yeah. I still have a place to stay. I'm not paying for anything.
It's like but glamping. Like
but like just a different. What routine would I take? You know what I mean? Like how am I going to spend my time? You know what I mean? Because over here I'll just be fucking 5 hours, which is shitty of me. But like 5-6 hours of my day sometimes would just go to fucking YouTube videos, bro. And it's like fuck, dude. Like I'm wasting time. You know what I mean? Where I could be trying to work on my music creativity shit or whatever, like work on towards something, promoting myself and stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's when I started to think about shit like that, but when it's happening, I'm just like, I like had a long day. Fuck, I don't want to fucking do anything. I just want to relax and shit. You know what I mean? But like I go over there and I see people over there like all day they work, they get home and they have to fucking work at home. You know what I mean? Work on shit at their house and shit. Like they're just constantly fucking in this state of like, shit's got to get done, and I'm just like, oh shit, you know what I mean? People hardly ever sit back.
Do you think you would be able to survive, like in the woods? Like somebody drops you off, fucking kidnaps you, bags you, flies you to the middle of the Amazon, and just leaves you there.
Amazon, no.
I mean, besides the animals, like just let's say like desolate island. There's no animal, like just animals you can hunt and not kill you like snakes and stuff.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I could survive.
Shit. I don't know. I can't say that. You say you can't have hot water, motherfucker. Like,
there's a difference.
Piece of shit.
There's a difference. I'm crafty. I'm a survivor, dude.
Oh yeah, but with no hot water.
But dude, that's the whole point of the first world problems, dude. I could survive.
Have you not seen what's it called?
Naked and Afraid.
Naked and Afraid. I want to see people put like someone from a third world country or whatever, make them watch this show and see what they think about it, right? Translate it for them or whatever. But like, they're just like, what the fuck's wrong with these people? Why would they put themselves in this situation?
Or I want to see them like switch lives for a day, because I'm saying it's subjective and stuff. Like if you put somebody from a third world country in a day job like that we do, like I'm pretty sure, and like let's just pretend they know the language as well. Like besides that, like would they like kind of just
be okay with it, or
is this too easy, right? Or just like not be able to handle dealing with people all the time, or just stuff like that? Like and then you be over there like trying to figure out the dynamic of wherever they live. Like, I can't go to this place, or I have to do this in order to sleep well at night, or shit like that.
Yeah. The mentality, right, is just fucking see what you're broken out to and what you're used to and what you've dealt. You know what I mean, with your life and your problems.
Do you think people who like live in tribes or like who live like the simple life, like, do you think they suffer from not sleep apnea, but like insomnia? Or do you think they're going to bed as soon as the sun goes down and they're waking up as soon as the sun gets up? And
no, yeah, I think not to say that they don't have a way to describe these things, or I'm sure they have language and linguistics as a part of their life, but like I think we've just have the words to define the things that we feel. So I think they probably feel it, but they're not as descriptive about it, but they're just like, you know what I mean? They feel a certain type of thing.
Because sometimes, and that's some of the things that keep me up at night, where I'm just thinking like, fuck, like I'm not sleeping at night, and I'm just like, fuck, is somebody somebody else out there?
I read this fucking like an article, I think too, or in this book that I have, like it's called Creativity: What Made Humans Exceptional, and it talks about the roots of creativity and where they came from, right? And as from us as humans as a species, but like when they bring up like anxiety, how we feel anxiety and stuff, well, they would say like, well, I mean, you got to think about it. If you believe or whatever, evolution or just our ancestors, our primitive ancestors, like we were in the fucking food chain. You know what I mean? So at the time, people were constantly on the jump of things. They were like they almost had paranoia, but they wouldn't call it that. It was just like their primitive nature to always be alert and sound. And now,
instinct.
And now we're just they're human instinct, to protect. So now, I mean, I'm shaking my fucking leg right now, and it's just like I call it anxiety. I was like, oh fuck, I have so much bent up energy inside me that like I don't know what to do with it. But I'm like, maybe it's because my fucking ancestors used to be eaten by fucking tigers. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's what, Joe Rogan brought that up once.
You have the your leg moving and ready to run.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like
keeping the engine warm.
So when we go back to like, do you think they just go? I don't think so. I'm sure wherever you're from, you feel your body feels a specific way, but maybe they don't have the same ways to describe what they feel.
I'm sorry, you were saying what? Joe Rogan was talking about this.
Well, he was like, that's why everybody's so afraid of like spiders and snakes and stuff, because like instinctively from generation to generation to generation, they know that those things would fucking kill you.
Yeah, those motherfuckers will kill you.
And so that's why whenever somebody sees a roach or something,
smash it.
Yeah, they freak out and they can't deal with it because they're just it's embedded in their genetics.
I think it's the same thing as like whenever you see like something coming at you like from above, like you just flinch. Like, of course, because you don't want to get hit, but like if something goes over your head, like you kind of just like freak out because there used to be like birds of prey that were super big and that would prey on humans, and that's what that's another thing too. And I think if you have cats, if you put like a water hose or something behind them, they just jump and get scared because they think it's a snake.
Or like those cucumber videos. The cucumbers,
yeah.
One thing I was going to talk about is like how. Back when I used to skate a lot, I haven't skated in a long time, but one of my friends would always be like, man, I don't know why I love skating so much. You know what I mean? I fucking just love skateboarding so much, like the act of like physically jumping off of shit. And I'm like, dude, think about it. Like, I always like to think about a primitive way of how things used to feel, I guess, or what I think how they used to feel. And I think about it, like, when you do a trick off a fucking stair set, all of us are like, yeah, like fucking yelling out and shit. I'm like, dude, think about a fucking like our caveman cousin, like, jumping from one fucking rock to the other, and his fucking homie was like, oh, like fucking building up this energy. I'm like, dude, we're just fucking primitive. We just like jumping off of shit. Like the danger of like, holy fuck, I could have fucked up.
I think I saw a picture too, like speaking of like primitive people. It was like not as primitive, but like there was a receipt from like 1840 something BC, like before Christ. And it's like a tablet, it's like a stone tablet. And it's fucking like you have to write in order to write you have to like chisel it into the tablet, and it's like they like transcribed it, and it's like a receipt complaint for a wrong delivery, like
no
like there was like customer service. They had like customer service standards back then too, where like some guy wrote a strongly worded chisel to somebody like, hey, you fucking delivered the wrong fucking stuff.
And you got to think about it. It takes fucking months to get this
guy must have been
motherfucker.
super pissed.
See this book. I want you guys to read it because it's fucking dope. I haven't read it all, but it's again creativity, what made humans exceptional. And this doctor talks about them finding specific tools, right, in a certain area of Africa that like they might have been one of like the first tools that man used to fucking kill another animal to eat it, right? But it's like it's a tool for convenience and game, but it's also you got to think about the creativity that goes into making this tool, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it takes one human to fucking break this stone in a certain way, but imagine explaining to another human without linguistics how to make the same tool again. Like that, how creative is that, bro?
And then
like,
somebody's seeing that and be like, I can make that better.
yeah, exactly. Like imagine that, like without the idea of being able to speak to somebody with these words that we know today. You know what I mean? Say like, just hit this edge like this. Like it was all like pointing and looking and just like, you know, doing shit like that. And I'm just like, oh my God, bro. Like that is very creative, you know?
Or, I mean, I don't, do you think maybe all those grunts and stuff, like they had meaning? Like, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Nobody knows how they communicated back then. And I'm pretty sure they had a language, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm pretty sure. The tone.
I mean, even then, like there was a point where, like in human history, where it was humans and Neanderthals.
Yeah.
Like two different species of humans. Like it's just like crazy to me. Like, did they have the same language? Did they kind of just communicate by
gestures and
stuff? I mean, and there's people that have like both DNA inside them now. Like so, like they hooked up.
Oh yeah, definitely. There was a lot of fucking butt fucking back in that day. No. And then, I'm sorry, I keep going into this book, but it's just really interesting because there's another thing where this same doctor said he was studying a specific, two different species of monkey that would live near each other in some area of a jungle somewhere. And he said that's this one group over here, when they would greet each other, they'd pick up their hands and they would like high five. They would pick up their little fucking monkey hand and like, and he was like, oh, that's weird. And he was looking at this other group, and the way they would do it, one of them would have their hand facing the palm, the other one would greet like this. Like it was different. Well, there was at one point where one of the monkeys from another tribe, from another group, came to this species and picked up his hand. They look exactly the same.
Uh-huh.
And the other one had his palm out like this. This one came with his palm facing him, and he retreated his fucking hand, and he looked at him like aggressively, and they started jumping on this monkey like, you're not from here. Like they knew that he wasn't from there, and it's like the gesture of things, you know, it can be really similar, but it can like, that's how I think, I mean, the communication comes from such a predatory or like just an animalistic like root, you know what I mean?
And I think also when soldiers were first going to Iraq and Afghanistan or something, I don't know if it was the palm of the hand or like the bottom of the foot. I think it's the bottom of the foot. Like you can't show the locals there, like the bottom of your foot. Like when you sit down,
like offensive or something, right?
Yeah, when you sit down, you have to have both feet planted. And I think also when you say stop, you have to do it like a certain way because that's offensive as well. And like, and there's places like you stick out the middle finger, nobody fucking gives a fuck.
Or like, wasn't the V thing a thing like that was like offensive when you threw a V to somebody?
Yeah, you have to do like palm out or something.
Some shit.
Yeah, something like that.
I know in some country, if you give somebody a thumbs up, that means fuck you. I'm not sure what country it is, though.
Sorry, man.
It's very American, like, hey,
yeah,
good job.
We're good, you know what I mean?
Like, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah, fuck you, pal.
I'm not your pal, friend.
Oh, my God. I don't even know how we went from first world problem to, like, breaking down, I guess, linguistics and gestures and how we used to communicate. But it's pretty interesting to me.
So what are some first world problems that you all have?
I think just when technology doesn't work the way it's supposed to. More specifically, I think like my phone. Like you're trying to call somebody and it just doesn't connect. You're like, this motherfucking thing that allows me to communicate with people millions of miles away sometimes, like, or thousands of miles away is not working right now.
This device that has to beam to a fucking satellite in the sky to call my mom in the other room isn't fucking working.
Or like just like the internet. Like, why is the internet super slow? Like all the information in the whole fucking world is in this little device, but it's taking forever to load.
One of my first problems that I still deal with, I think, is when I have my phone in my pocket and I get in my vehicle and I'm about to drive. Every time, never fucking fails, as I'm starting to drive, somebody has to fucking call my phone. And I get, why do I get pissed? I get pissed, I'm like, who the fuck is calling this device that I'm paying money to have? Like, the only actual reason why you should have a phone so somebody can contact you. And I'm getting pissed about it. And I'm just like, because I'm driving and I'm sitting down. Oh, fuck. It's a fucking scam likely fucking calling me. God, dude, I don't have to answer this.
Scamio likely?
Scamio likely. Like,
yeah.
That's like a first world problem thing for me of like, okay, for one, this is such an innovative tool. You know what I mean? And I'm pissed that someone's trying to fucking call me on it, which is its like soulful purpose of like being in contact with people. And I'm getting pissed about it. Like, who the fuck's gonna call me? What do you need to tell me that you need to fucking talk to me? Text me, motherfucker. You know what I mean? I fucking hate that shit. That's my like one of my main first world problems that I just like, God, pisses me off. What about you? It's
the same thing that y'all are talking about. Mainly Wi-Fi. Like, I feel like Wi-Fi should be across the entire world, and it is cellular. Like, it's like Wi-Fi in your pocket.
It's like, come on, stop acting funny. How long has it been Wi-Fi? You know, how long has it been internet? Stop fucking acting weird. Just be constant.
Exactly.
and then it's just those. It's those things where like, people take advantage of like, oh, there's free Wi-Fi, but you have to give us all information first. Like, what's your name, your
list of fears? Like, what the fuck, bro? I hate heights. Yeah. You're in. Oh, God. It's fucking crazy.
And we just do it like, yeah, why not? Like, there's people like, it's just set up Wi-Fi networks in your hotel is just hoping somebody like logs onto their Wi-Fi just to steal their information. And you're like, I mean, at least I can get on my internet, watch some porn or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Wi-Fi is a thing for me too, because I'll be fucking like, or not even sometimes like I have to turn on, I don't have unlimited data, so I have to turn on my data, but it's not up here on Android anymore, or like not on this version at least. So I have to go into settings, go into my data settings, go in, do all this extra shit, and it's pissing me off. I'm like, can I just have a button that turns on the fucking data? Because I want to show people shit, and it says not connected. Fuck, dude, not today, Satan, please. Like, that's first world as fuck for me, dude. Like, oh, it's so fucking bad. How much it infuriates me. Just makes me pop my fucking head off, and I fucking hate it.
And I think also another one that I have is just like always wanting to buy the newest device or things like that. Like, I mean, iPhone releases a phone like every year, and now like a lot of carriers are doing that too, like Samsung and stuff. And I was like, I have this perfectly fine, how many fucking dollars it costs phone that it's not broken. I can still use it for like another couple of years and stuff. But no, I want to have the newest fucking thing.
Like, people are constantly in debt, just never owning shit. You know what I mean? Like, or at least us fucking normies that, you know what I mean? Don't have fucking thousands, millions of dollars. Yeah, that shit's fucking crazy too. That shit pisses me off too. Because, okay, one thing I want to go into was that it on the first world problems?
Yeah, of course.
Did you have anything else you want to say?
Good.
First world problems?
No.
You sure nothing else fucking pisses you off? Cold water?
A topic for another show is text etiquette, which y'all said like, oh, who's fucking texting me? But we'll talk about that later.
Text etiquette?
Just because nobody texts you back doesn't mean we're bad at it.
Some niggas just don't want to talk.
Moving on.
So, anyways, guys, if you guys don't follow us on Instagram, just look us up at Laugh and Death Podcast. You can talk to us, comment on some of our posts. Just like a good friend of mine, Juan23 on Instagram, commented on one of the posts where I put, what topic should we talk about today, people? Comment below, and he commented below. And what did he say? Juan23 asked, what are one of the dumbest things you all have ever done? Thanks, Juan23, for the question. So what are one of the dumbest things that you guys have ever done?
I'll go first.
Okay.
All right.
When I was 8 years old, on my street, I used to live in Elsa, Texas, and right down the street there's a water tower, and in front of that water tower there was this can packaging plant that would package cans of tomatoes and corn, all that shit, right? Well, they had like this receiving bay, and it was like on stilts, and I guess where like the trucks would back up and they would just unload, and it was this abandoned area with like trees that were 15 feet high and grass that was crazy. And anyways, this platform had like this giant like concave in it where guys and where a lot of people would go out there, and like there was a sofa in there, and there was Playboy magazines, and there was roaches and shit.
Fun
like,
stuff.
Yeah. And so we would run all the way out there and just go hang out.
It was the spot.
Yeah, it was the spot to hang out. And we would take our knives and our fucking BB guns and fake swords and shit and go out there and just go play in the grass and shit. Anyways, we started to play this game, and we had these little walkie-talkies. We had these 3 walkie-talkies that only worked within like a 30.
But how many of you were there?
There was like 8 of us.
And 3 walkies.
So 3 walkies. Yeah. So like the majority of us were on the platform.
Yeah.
And then we had two lookouts.
Yeah.
And so we had a guy that was hiding in the grass over by the road. It's the same road where Jack in the Box is at. I don't know if you know. I don't know what that road is. And so we were hanging out. And so we started to play a game. Like, all right, guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and time it with the walkies. We collected a bunch of rocks because there's a train track right by that area, and so we collected all these fucking big old black rocks. And he was like, "All right, whenever we give you the signal, you throw the rock, and if you hit the car, you win." I'm like, "All right, sweet deal." And so we started to do it, and everybody got online, and I'm sitting there like a little 8-year-old just watching shit happen, and all these older kids, cool kids, doing all these malios. And so they gave the signal, they would throw it, boom, they'd hit a car, and the car would break, and guy would get out yelling, like, because they didn't know where it came from, obviously. Yeah. And so we're like, oh, that's so fucking cool. So, all right, well, they're like, all right, David, you're next. I'm like, cool. And so they gave me the black rock, and I'm like, all right, I had it there, and I was crouched down, and the grass is pretty high. And they're like, all right, on 3, 1, 2, 3, and I chucked the rock. And when I chucked the rock, I stand up to see if I hit the car, and they're like, I hear it hit, boom, and it's a fucking cop car. I hit the hood.
Oh no!
Of the.
This was at night, or
this was during the day.
Oh, fuck.
Like at noon. And
Oh
so
my God.
I threw the rock, and I see everybody duck but me, and I'm just staring at this cop car, and he goes right, and he hits the siren, and I'm like, fuck. So I just hop off of the platform, and I take off running. Granted, the water tower is about a half mile away from my parents' house. So I'm taking off running, and I'm like, I gotta get home. And within 2 seconds, he's next to me, and I'm continuing to run, and I'm on the grass, so he's gonna drive up here. And so he was like literally going like 3 miles an hour right next to me as I'm running home,
just staring,
crying. Yeah, and I would glance over, and I'm like, oh, I hope he doesn't see me. Anyways, I run all the way to my house. I run inside the house. I close the door, and we have a knock at the door. I'm like, I tell my mom, don't open the door. Don't open the door. It's the cops. They're after me. And she's like,
wait, what?
Yeah, she was like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, these stupid fucking kids. They fucking made me throw a rock at the fucking cop. And they're like, she's like, all right, let's figure it out. And so they open the door. My mom talks to the cop, and I started crying, freaking out. Like, I didn't want to go to jail. I'm too young to go to jail. And yeah, I told him the whole thing. I was a little snitch. I was like, there's 8 of us. We all had walkies. And then by the time when the cop went to go check, everybody was gone.
Under the bus.
Yeah, they're like, David's a little bitch. He's going to go snitch. So everybody ditched. And yeah, everybody went down the train tracks behind my house, and we met up later. And
what, did they ask you anything?
I was like, no. I didn't say shit.
Now it's all out.
I told that bitch, fucking find me later.
Yeah.
I dare you.
Pigster.
Jesus
You're fucking
Christ.
wearing a wire and shit.
Yeah. I didn't do anything. Oh, you hit that cop pretty good. Yeah, thanks, Daniel. Why'd you say my name so weird?
Wait, why don't you tell me your name? Daniel?
Daniel?
You got that?
Hey, man. Let me
Who lives on...
What was your name again?
on 4th Street.
That's fucking
That is the dumbest thing I've ever done. It was throw a rock at a cop car.
I mean, at least you were like a kid, and like I think it's more like acceptable to get away with shit like that rather than like.
Oh yeah,
yeah, you're just a kid.
It was cool. I told him I'm so fucking stupid.
What about you, man?
Mine, funny enough, actually, the one that I'm gonna talk about this time, actually also deals with a cop. Well, when I was a kid, I'd always want to tag along with my older brother. My older brother's 27 and 24. But when I was a kid, I'd always just want to tag along with him and hang out. And he'd always be like, dude, go the fuck home. And like, never wanted me around, right? And finally, this one time, I get to hang out with him and my neighbor, like, who they were the same age. It was me, my brother, one of our neighbors, and then my neighbor's like older brother-in-law and like some other friends, right? We're all hanging out. And right behind our houses, there's this pasture with like high grass as well, like just plains, you know what I mean? High grass. And they had they would make those big circle like hay stack things for like
The hay bales?
the hay bales, yeah, the big circle hay bales. Mm-hmm. And at first, our idea was like, oh, because like when you go to my house, it's right off a frontage road, and you turn into the street. But before it, there's like the entrance to the pasture where all the tractors would go in through. Huh?
In San Benito?
In San Benito, yeah. There's like an entrance. Huh?
I'm gonna find it.
yeah. It's like right before my neighborhood, dude. It's right there. And there's an entrance where all the tractors go into. And at first, our idea was like, oh, like there wasn't that many of us at the time. It was just maybe me, my brother, and my neighbor, right? Just three of us at first, and we were like thinking of just miles to do. You know, what can we do to fuck some shit up? You know what I mean?
Daños.
Maybe get in trouble. And we were like, oh, let's push the fucking thing onto the fucking road. You know what I mean? Like, and right before my street, there's an exit from the highway, bro. So there's people like coming in fast, right? So at first, I mean, we're fucking little kids, bro. Like my brother's at this time, I'm like 10, 11 years old. My brother's 16. 15, you know, not that much older, but we're all scrawny and like we can't push it. So there's just shit out there, pallets and tires, old tires. A bunch of people would just throw shit, garbage out there, right? So what do? We fucking put some of the pallets on the exit of the highway, and we go into the high grass and we hide, bro. And we're just hiding there
on the exit.
On the exit, and we peek out and we just we hear people boom, just hitting shit, and, stopping. We're like. And then this is how I remember it. I'm telling you my fucking side of the story. This is how I remember this shit, that my brother would be like, check, Alex, check. Like, he would make me the guinea pig to check. And I'm like, he's still there. Right? The guy's still there. And then they're like, fuck, whatever. And like, this is happening. And we're doing it. This is like maybe an hour of us just putting shit out, waiting for people to come out. It's kind of like maybe 10 p.m., 9 p.m., like it's late at night. Probably during summer. None of us had school and shit. And we're putting shit out there, garbage and stuff, and all kinds of shit. People are hitting it, and people are fucking hitting all this shit, and they're like, what the fuck? You know, they don't understand what's happening, and we're just hiding there. We keep putting shit out. And then finally, like, so it's me, my brother, and then my friend, my neighbor, Ray. I should say his name. I don't really talk to him that much anymore, at all anymore. His name's Ray, and then his older brother-in-law, and then another friend of his comes, and his little brother. And so it's just 6 of us. And we tell him our fucking great scheme, right? Our great idea. Like, oh, we've been throwing shit on the fucking highway and shit, right? And before we could even say, like, oh, we want to try the hay bale, the eldest one, right, out of all of them, he must have been like 20 or something at the time, like 21, shit. You know, the oldest. And he's like, have y'all tried pushing the hay bale? And we're like, dude, or like, great minds think alike. We're like, fuck yeah, let's do it, right? So we all get behind this hay bale, bro. It's huge. I mean, if you've seen a fucking hay bale in person and you tried pushing it, we're like, all of us are like, oh, like trying to get the momentum on it, right? And it's pretty far away from the entrance. And we're fucking doing it, and it starts moving, bro. And we just like, oh, like, it's moving enough to where we're able to run a little bit away and get a running start to push more, and we're pushing it. And we fucking get it. And it's like when you get to the entrance of that pasture, it's a little bit of an uphill thing. So we gain momentum. So we didn't think we were going to take it all the way out there. We were like, if it gets on the street and we have to push on the street, like, let's not do it. Let's see if that hill will get it all the way over there. And sure enough, dude, we fucking pushed it, went down the hill, and it just real quick, just going down. And it had so much momentum. You know how when you get off a highway, there's like the curve of a sidewalk, you know what I mean, that separates whatever, the highway and then the street, the frontage. Well, it hit the curve on the other side. It didn't go over, but it hit it. It went fast enough to hit the other side and stayed in place. And we're like, oh, fuck. And we're like, dude, we fucking made it. And we're hiding there. And we're like, oh, shit, what the fuck's going to happen? You know, we're just, all of us, like 7 or 8 of us, dude, we're all just hiding, right? A lot of time passes, nothing happens, dude. Like, there's no cars coming down. We you know, there's nothing. We're like, what the fuck, you know? And then, like, on that same frontage, it's a really long frontage, but if you look down to the left, you can see every single car that's coming down, right? And the oldest one, he looks over there, and he's like, is that a fucking cop? Like, he's starting to look down the street, and he's like, dude, it looks like a fucking cop. Like, he can tell by the lights on top of the sirens, right? And we're like, what the fuck? And, like, he says he looks to the exit of the ramp, and there's a fucking, like, barricade blocking it. Like, maybe somebody had already called, like, hey, like, you know what I mean? There's shit on the exit of this highway. Like, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, maybe during the time of us, like, getting together and talking and shit, the cop barricaded it and it was waiting for somebody to see if they're doing it again. You know what I mean? I mean, our cul-de-sac is, at the time, it was all just, it still is now, but like there was just kids everywhere. We'd always be hanging out and stuff, you know? But it's a nice, calm cul-de-sac. Nothing ever happens there until us motherfuckers came to, you know? And like, and this fucking giant hay ball, fucking haystack is there. And he's like, that's a fucking cop, dude. And he's looking down at us. And then we're fucking crouching down. And we hear the sirens turn on. Dude, we're like, oh, fuck, dude. And we're like, we all stand the fuck up. And his light, you know, the light that they have on their corner,
the spotlight,
the spotlight, it turns on and it flashes towards us. And we're like, fuck. And we start running through the pasture and we go through the back, like back to the back of our houses. And some of my friends are running that way and some of us are running this way. And I stayed behind with my brother and Ray, right, the neighbor and shit. And we're fucking running. We're like, holy fuck. And like, I know we can see him, like, as we're running away, we can see him. We're not too far away from the entrance of our houses are right at the entrance. If I'm not the third house at the beginning of that neighborhood, I'm like the second. Like, we're both, and we're right next to each other, our houses. And there's this little, like, this is one house, this is my neighbor's house, and in the middle, there's a little alleyway in between the houses. And we're running this shit, we're crossing the backyard of my house, and we can see between the alleyways of each house being next to each other, this cop driving through. And I'm running. And at some point, I realize I'm running by myself, and I'm about to cross this alleyway, and my brother fucking, like, on my chest just stops me. Like, he stops me, pulls me back to the floor. I sit down, and I literally, like a movie, bro, like the spotlight passes through the alleyway and stops. Stops right in between the alleyway, bro. And it's just, like, right at my feet, like, in front of my feet. Like, he's searching, and he stopped. And the spotlight's right there, and we're fucking adrenaline, just like, what the fuck, dude? Why? We fucked up. We're all fucking scared, right? And he fucking passes by, and he drives away into the cul-de-sac. It's a dead end, you know, it's just a cul-de-sac, you know? And he drives around, we're all meet up, and we're like, what the fuck? What do we do? What's the fucking plan? I mean, my brother's like, let's get the fuck home, man. So we just take the fuck out, we go inside, and after that, I don't know what the fuck happened. The cop left, I guess, but that was the dumbest shit I've ever done. Because I was a kid, too, and I felt like I was going to be fucking...
You're going to be locked up in jail for the rest of your life.
But I feel like we were putting people in danger. I mean, a massive fucking...
Hey, Bo, by the highway?
Yeah.
Jesus
I'm just like, that's probably the dumbest shit I've ever done, dude. Been a part of as well. Fuck.
Mine isn't as bad as getting fucking hellbells at a highway or throwing rocks at a cop car where you fucking kill somebody going super fast. Just like... But I remember one time... during football practice, I had just eaten like a... Excuse me. I think I had just eaten like a bunch of snacks because it was like somebody's birthday and they brought out like a bunch of like shit to school or whatever. So I was like, eating a bunch of snacks, like cake and shit. Last class of the day, got to football practice. I'm like, man, my fucking stomach hurts. I'm just like, whatever. And I'm going through practice and stuff, and I feel like food coming up, and I'm just like, I think I need to throw up. So I was like, hey coach, I think I need to throw up. He's like, no, you're good or whatever. I was like, all right, cool. And then we're like, somebody fucking hit me like right in the stomach, and I just feel like when I caught it in my mouth. And
pickle juice and Hot Cheetos? I mean, pickles and Hot Cheetos?
I just caught the vomit in my mouth, and I was just like mouthful of vomit. And I was like, I should probably just like spit it out or whatever, but I didn't want to like be the one that throws up at practice.
Yeah.
So I was just like sitting standing there with my hands on my helmet, like mouthful of fucking vomit, just gagging like every once in a while. People started to turn around like, are you okay? And I'm like,
How old were you?
I was like freshman year, I think. And I was just like there, and I was like fucking ran to inside the field house, and I fucking just threw everything out, threw up more.
Oh, it's hurting me.
But I was like, why in my head? In my head, I was like, I can't throw up here in this practice because I'm gonna be the guy that throws up before practice for the rest of my life. But now thinking back on it, it's like nobody will fucking care. It's like, oh shit, you okay? Like, yeah. And then the worst it would be like, hey, you threw up at that practice one time, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this far out. I was gonna say you'll be like, hey, remember you threw up at practice?
But
you were afraid of that?
But in my head, I was like, it's gonna be the worst fucking thing. And I went to like a brand new high school from like middle school in Wasago. There's 2 high schools, and you're zoned to one or the other. And I had transferred to the one that I wasn't, like all my friends weren't going. Mm-hmm. So I was like the new kid at the school, and I was just like, yeah, I can't be that guy. And I fucking was like just fucking standing there with vomit in my fucking cheeks. I was just like, I don't know. That was the dumbest thing. I never told anybody to like now, but
Oh shit, we're opening up the locks.
but yeah, it's just like, why did I think so highly of like what people thought in high school?
Yeah, that's. I mean, that was our. I think all of us thought like that. You know, I mean, a lot of us. I did. You know, a lot sometimes. Just like, what the fuck do people think about me?
Yeah.
I've got one quick one. This one's probably the dumbest thing I've ever done. Is right out of high school, I would hang out with my friends, and we would hang out till 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're like, hey, let's go car surfing. And so we're like, all right, cool. So we would take a back road, like
Wait,
like on gravel.
it's like stand on top of the car. And
no, you lay on top of the
Oh,
car,
shit.
and we would go. Like we had signs. It was like both hands on the windshield means slow down. If you went like this, it's go faster. Dude, we would hit like 75 miles an hour, and we're hanging on top of this car.
Like on the window.
Oh yeah,
What the fuck?
And it was on the back roads, heading to Sebastian. Like if you go through at Couch, you get to FM 491, and it's just a straight shot.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
out
about.
there, and we would just get on there, and you wouldn't see headlight. We would get off, and we would also play.
Was there no canals over there? It was just flat.
It was just flat.
But isn't that road like super dark at night?
Yes, so you could see for miles in each direction, like if there was a car coming, and so we would just get off, and we would get down and like go into like these abandoned buildings and stuff at night. And we're like, we're fine. We would just leave the lights on, like not the headlights on, but just like the parking lights. Oh, God, and we would get down, or we would get on top of the cars and hang on. We're like, hey, let's not be stupid. Let's put some sunglasses on.
Wow.
So we put sunglasses just in case bug. Dude, I got hit in the face by a dragonfly.
It hurt.
It was like a fucking bullet.
Dude, that shit fucking hurts.
Hit me right in the cheek. But that's probably the stupidest thing I've ever done.
That is probably the stupidest thing.
Because like we would just hang on. It was like just like.
At least I was putting other people's life in danger, not mine.
Yeah, no, I was like, that was so cool. I'm like, and you would put your hands out and just look straight out, and it was like you were flying. And I'm like, that was so fucking cool. You want to go car surfing?
Fuck no,
No, dude, fuck that.
no, thank you.
I remember one time we were heading to South Padre Island, and on the drive over there, there's a stretch of road where now they have like those street lights like every so often, but back then, like 10 years ago, they didn't have those lights there. So at middle of the night, it would be super dark on that road, and I think it was after prom or something. We were like, oh, let's go to the beach. Let's go. We have a hotel at the island. Let's go hang out over there. And so we're driving there, and it's like super dark. And then my friend's like, yeah, I wonder how it looked like if I turned off my headlights. Like, you know, and I was like, yeah,
I still do that.
I was like, do it. So we turned them off. And it's fucking pitch black dark. Like we're driving, like going like 70 miles an hour, like pitch black dark. And then we're like, I think you should turn them on already. He's like, oh, hold on a little bit more. And then like he turns them on. Like not even like 100 feet like later, there's like a curve. Like so if you would have like just like kept going with the headlights off, like we wouldn't have seen like this. Yeah, there's a little curve, and then just gone straight into like Monte and stuff.
Dead.
Yeah,
I still do that from time to time on
Every
my way
now,
home.
yeah, I've done.
Turn off the lights.
I've done it. I've done it with my van full of my family, like my girl, my dad, my mom, my sister, and my grandma. And we're crossing a bridge, traveling up north, and we're crossing this bridge. And I started messing with them, like, because they wouldn't drive up that way, and I just be like, oh, this bridge is haunted. They say that sometimes the lights will turn on. I say that sometimes the lights will turn off, like out of nowhere. And my girl's like, dude, shut the fuck up, shut up. And then like my grandma can't speak, doesn't know English, but like so whatever. But like everybody else does, except for my grandma and my mom. So I turn off the fucking lights too, and then my girl and my mom like, ¿Qué haces? ¿Por qué estás? ¿Qué pasó? She's like, everybody's getting fucking scared, and I'm just like, nah, just kidding. I turn them back on, and that's the same fucking night where I was driving 85 miles per hour on a curve on the highway, and I turned too hard, and my back fucking tire popped. We almost fucking died, and I was like, fuck, instant karma for fucking with my family. Like everybody was pissed at me.
One time driving home back from back when I lived in Elsa, I would go through either Baseline or Mile 2 on the back roads into Santa Rosa or La Villa, and I was like, all right, cool. There's nobody on the road. I would turn off my lights, and then like count to 10, and then turn them back on. And so I'm going, and I'm just like, and I turn off my lights, and I'm like, cool, this is awesome. Like, if I ever wanted to get away from the cops, I know, like, I could just, like, floor it or
You
whatever.
can Batman style, like.
Yeah, I'm just like, take off. But I flip my lights back on, and there's the back end of a horse, like, it was, like, tied down, like, to a fence, but with a lot of slack, so that its ass was in the shoulder. I almost fucking hit the back end of a horse. I just, like, I jerked the wheel real quick, and then I got back, and I was like, oh, I'm never doing that shit again.
Would you hit Fernie? What is your horse?
What am I, a horse?
Throwback.
That was cool. Those are good stories. Those are really good. I want to just give a quick shout out to Juan23. Thanks for giving us your question, Juan. We'll plug you in on this episode. That was pretty fun, digging back into the past.
Yeah, man.
Thanks
Thanks for your feedback. We appreciate that. Along with some feedback that we got, I just want to quick shout out to everybody. We were looking at our metrics, and we have some fans in the United Kingdom, Canada, Sweden, Singapore, Australia.
G'day, mate.
G'day, mate.
Hey.
If you are the one watching or listening to us on Spotify or iTunes, we want to hear from you. Hit us up on Instagram or on the comments of this video, and we want to hear from you, especially if you're one of those listeners. And then we also have some quick shout-outs. We have a few listeners in Mountain View, California, in Houston, in Los Angeles, and of course, we're all across the Rio Grande Valley, Harlingen, Westaco, Brownsville, McAllen. Shout out to you all. Oh, and we have a bunch of people listening to us from Dallas also. So shout out to all of you all, and thank you so much. We do this for you, and I mean, it's been super rewarding.
If you're watching, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're almost at 100 subscribers. Let's get it. Let's do it. Thank you, guys. That is really cool, though.
Yeah, that's awesome statistics to see. We don't have to do my topic. We whatever.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Like I said, leave any comments in the YouTube video or in the Instagram comments at Laugh and Death Podcast. We had Alex.
Peace.
And David. Thank you, guys. See ya.
And
Thanks,
Fern,
guys.
Fern, he forgets himself.
Oh,
He's always thinking about us, dude.
Damn.
I love you, Fernie.
yeah.
You want to play gay chicken?
Especially at night. What? All right, thanks. Thank you, guys.
Peace
Thank
out,
you,
guys.
guys.
Thank you
Peace.
so much. Appreciate you.